We are broadcasting, and now the channel is live. And there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D. Do we have to do like 6 voices to make up for others who can't be here tonight?
D&D.
Yes, yes.
D&D. D&D.
D&D. Yes, D&D, yes.
Dungeons and Dragons, everybody.
I am Christiana Ellis, and I'm the Dungeon Master. As you can see, we are down to 2 players tonight for a variety of reasons. Everybody's busy. They got stuff. They're maybe traveling or other things. But we do have tonight Mark Kilfoyle as Nedry.
Well, follow the questions, but if people aren't here.
Ah. And we also have Paul Fisher as Zinhorn Windborn.
Good evening.
And so we normally have a larger party. And so I think that we are going to leave the main party paused where we last saw them, having just stumbled across this creature in the sewers beneath the Pashan main train station. But I think tonight we envision a time in the recent but not entirely specified past, wherein there was some point where there was a little time to kill, and we're going to once again have a little side adventure with the Dragon Bros. So I had suggested, and I suspect that after the initial attempt that we saw with Zinhorn learning and testing his ability to glide, that perhaps there were more flying practice sessions, and that Nedry seemed eager to help with scientific measurements and calculations and so on the last time, and perhaps would be interested in assisting once again.
Absolutely.
So, given that you have already demonstrated, Zinhorn, that you have the capacity to glide down from places, would you be just doing a lot more gliding, or would you be experimenting with, you know, flapping a little to see if you can maybe prolong your flight time rather than only just unpowered gliding?
So I would be trying to do more flapping.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to tie it initially to me leveling up and gaining strength
Yeah.
as to being able to glide, and I have not leveled up since then.
Yes. Well,
So,
I think, though, that what we can certainly do in the fiction is that the leveling up is not a magic button that gets pressed in the fiction, right? We can
okay.
imagine that this is a training session and it reflects how you are working on it and improving. And that's why when we reach the milestone, that's will, upgrade your mechanical abilities, but this is practice.
Aha. So there's a training montage in my future.
Yeah, sure. That's I think what we are maybe in the middle of right now, and that's why we didn't see these scenes before, is because it was part of montage. But I don't know. So, are you still just jumping off the roof of the castle, or what other sorts of?
Well, I jumped off some containers, some shipping containers.
That's true. You did. You pulled the
Yes.
Into the Spider
I,
Verse a little bit. Like you
yeah.
go up to the top. It's like, maybe from a little.
No. Let's start closer to the ground.
Well, there seems to be a whole lot of flight modes to consider. I mean, certainly the hang time is very, very important, but also glide distance, ability to slow down, and possibly swooping, too. Have you thought about swooping?
That seemed a bit advanced, like gliding and then like flapping to gain height. I think I want to start with and just general controlled flight.
Right. Because I think part of the concern is that it's one thing to maintain stable gliding, but in
Right.
order to flap, you have to like move and change the shape of your wings in a way that, like, if you don't actually get the flap action you're looking for, you are certainly disrupting the air surface that is giving you your gliding.
Yeah.
But I think you are trying it from a little bit of a higher spot this time, trying for a little, give yourself a little bit more time to work with as you're gliding along.
Hmm.
And what? How are you assisting during this, Nedry? Are you like running
Um,
around on the ground, or are you going up to the launch point?
Probably observing from the side. That way I can kind of sketch out what the curve is like and to see if there's any changes in the curve based on the different things you're trying to do.
All right.
Also, you're really, really heavy with that armor. We're going to have to practice with it eventually, but maybe today, just for now, try it without.
Yeah, we've been doing flight practice without the armor.
Okay. So I think then that if you're not wearing your armor, I will allow you to make an athletics check with advantage as you are currently gliding along, and you're going to try some flaps with your wings to see if you can, maintain altitude a little better, or maybe even gain it. Who knows?
I got a 16.
Okay, that's pretty good. So I think you succeed in leveling out a little bit rather than just kind of gradually descending. And then you even gain a little bit with the immediate, uh, you know, uh, ascending, and then are able to return to gliding configuration without falling out of it. Um, but here's the thing that made it a little bit complicated in a way that you perhaps didn't anticipate, is that you had set out your trajectory, right, on the basis that you were working within a certain amount of space.
Hmm.
But now that you have extended your range, you're going to run out of room. You are currently soaring along this big platformed tier of on the Skyport Tower that has lots of various cargo containers here and there in various rows, and other sorts of structures. But the kind of lane that you had set out for yourself, you realize, oh, I have given myself enough altitude that I'm going to probably reach those things before I land. Um, so, two questions. One is, how are you just dashing to try to keep up, Nedry, or
Yes. Yeah.
okay,
Probably predicting more or less where the closest point would be and then dashing from there to keep up.
okay. Let's get an athletics check from Nedry.
That's going to go poorly. Let's see here.
All right, I'm still here.
Okay.
Athletics. There we go. Surprisingly, a 17.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you are just in the zone today, and so the various sorts of obstacles that are on the ground in the way, you're jumping over crates and dodging barrels, and um, you bounce off the bed, jump
Into
over
the bath.
and and into the beyond. And so you're keeping up pretty well. But as Zinhorn, as you are getting close to this another sort of area where there are some cargo containers, right now, if you continue your current gliding trajectory, you're going to basically face plant right into the top of this two two tall cargo container stack.
Okay.
Probably you don't want to do that. It's my guess.
No, I do not want to do that.
So,
You're doing so well. You're doing so well. Stop.
yeah, I like the if anyone remembers in Galaxy Quest when they're pulling the ship out of the station for the first time and he's just veering a little bit too much towards the side and everyone's just like. Anyway, so given that you see yourself about to run into something, are you going to try to ascend again to go over it, not knowing what's on the other side, or are you going to try to come in for a landing sooner so as to not crash into a wall?
So I'm going to try
Or you could
and
turn.
haven't done much in the way of turning yet.
Yeah, that's kind of advanced.
It is, and you know there's water nearby, but I don't necessarily want to go into the water if I can avoid it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been studying ducks, and when ducks are coming in with too long a glide path, they will pull one wing in to spill the air out from under the other wing and drop, and then extend it again, and then immediately lean back to break. And so, having seen ducks do that all the time, I'm going to try and see if my flight is in any way related to the way ducks fly.
Okay. Well, so here's the question. Would you say that this is an attempt where you're going to try to just use your physical power, the wing power, to effect this move through sheer force, or is this a delicate, graceful maneuver?
I think it's probably more of a strength-based maneuver.
Okay. Well, so let's get another athletics check. You can, I'd say this one requires a little more control, so no advantage, but just regular.
I got a 15.
Oh, there you go. Nice. So I think you do manage to do your duck point landing. And so you want to describe how you come in for a landing?
Sure. In a mild panic, I see that I'm about to face plant, a la Wile E. Coyote, into a wall. I pull in my right wing, tuck it in just for a second, causes me to rotate and drop like 10 or 20 feet, and then I stick the right wing back out and then lean back so that I'm aero braking. And probably time it a little bit too early and wind up dropping like 3 and miss the ground and have to go find it. Yeah. But not by too much.
All right. So what you've done with your successful athletics check is ensure that you are going to land without hurting yourself.
Hey.
But now I would like an acrobatics check to see if you look cool.
All righty. +0. Here we come. I got a 9.
I think you almost look cool. You almost managed to just land on your feet and like a badass, but you're just a little bit too off balance, and so there's just a little bit of a
stumble. Yeah.
Yeah, but no damage.
Yay.
All right. So I would imagine that you were still a little ahead of Nedry, but he is, huffs and puffs his way to catching up with you.
That was amazing. You went much farther than I anticipated. I think we're going to have to find a different runway for this.
Yeah.
Although what you did at the end there, I wasn't quite sure. I thought you were going for a swoop, but then it sort of turned into a fall, and I thought, oh, that's not right. But then it sort of worked out in the end. Well, except for you got to work on the.
I got to work on
sharp are your
knowing
claws on your feet.
Yeah, and knowing where the
special
ground
boots.
is.
Yeah. Well, the reliability of the ground's position is pretty good. It's usually just there below you. But trying to figure out how to grip onto it, that's a whole different thing. Maybe we need better boots. We could get some sort of back claw put on the boots to make it easier to hook onto the ground.
That would make it really difficult to walk on afterward, though.
Well, I'm sure that if we talked to Sequential, he could make them so they're on hinges or something, and all you would need to do is sort of click your heels together and they would pop down.
Ooh,
Sort of landing gear or something.
yeah, some gear for landing.
Yeah.
So as you're having this conversation, you realize that you'd been hearing something for a few seconds that without quite processing it, but now what you realize is that there is someone who is shouting. They're not being very like clear in what it is that they're saying, but they seem to be in some distress, and you hear like kind of across the way a little bit, past these cargo containers where you are right now, you hear someone who seems to be under exertion and in some distress, and they're running. Like you can hear the sound of their voice, like getting closer. And you can both make a perception check as well.
Okay.
You don't think we made them mad about jumping off their boxes again, do you?
I hope not.
It's an 18 from me.
Ooh,
16 for me.
yeah, so I think both of you here, now that once you start focusing on this sound, you hear in roughly the same direction, you hear a whole bunch of strange, like rapid metallic kind of clanking sorts of footsteps. Like it clearly sounds like metal striking metal, like the metal of the deck, but at the same time, there's a lot of them. So it's hard to like. It doesn't sound like a person going tunk 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 tunk. It sounds like a whole bunch of little feet going clink 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 clink.
Okay.
That's weird. Better check it out.
Yep. Let's go take a look.
All right. So you hurry around this row of cargo containers, and you see running towards you is a dwarven dock worker who has one arm of his coverall uniform torn open at the bicep, and there's a little bit of blood coming from it. And you can also see that on his cheek looks like a burn of some kind. And he is running away from three strange little construct creatures. Your brain gives you a couple of different mental images all at once that seem, certainly contradictory, but different parts of it are giving you different answers here. So there's parts of it that resemble something like a scorpion with a strange sort of metallic tail with a stinger rising up at the back and lots of little legs that's certainly making this noise. But then its body, which is the size of, say, a large dog, is almost more like maybe grasshopper shaped. And then its head looks almost more like a bird of some kind, but it's clearly a construct. It's made from metal, and it seems to be mechanical, but also very much animate at the moment, because there are three of them chasing this poor dock worker.
Okay. And I don't have my armor on. Well,
The price you pay for advantage on athletics checks.
yes. Willing to pay it.
Mm-hmm.
I assume my mace is nearby or my pack is nearby.
I mean, why?
Or am I?
I mean, I'll say you can have your mace on you, like.
Okay.
Well, I guess the question is, I will allow you to have with you anything that you can justify that you would have with you.
Well, I would have put my pack down where I was going to land.
Well, but you landed further along than you intended to.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'm going to start sprinting for my pack.
Mhm. Okay.
Hey, Zinhorn, do you think we... Oh, where are you? Maybe we should help him. Hey, Mr. Dwarf, what's wrong? Why are these things after you?
So I think if you want to run back for your pack, first of all, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Well, I mean, like, how far away
I
is
was
it?
thinking you might have to do one whole turn to go and get it, and then one whole turn to come back.
That might be too late. All right.
I
So
will say you
initiative
certainly would
first.
have your holy symbol, but maybe
Okay.
not the heavy things that you wouldn't have on you when you tried to fly.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we can do this the old-fashioned way with two fists and a little bit of lightning.
All right.
Because lightning is clearly old-fashioned.
Yep. Lightning goes back before people. Of course, it's old-fashioned.
All right. So how about those initiative rolls?
8.
17.
My rolls are on roll 20, just in case you want to see it. I know we're not using
Oh,
it,
that's
but
fine.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
yeah, it
Yeah.
it complains if I don't have roll 20 up.
yeah. Well,
Same here.
so because we're using this Beyond 20 extension that's useful when you have Roll 20,
Mhm.
you can always turn the extension off if you don't want it to complain, but it's fine either way.
These are advanced thoughts.
Yeah.
It's like swooping.
So I think you are getting some of your questions out there, Nedry, but nonetheless, it seems that he does not have time to answer them at length or in detail because he is running for his life. However, he does see you and turns in your direction, saying, "Help me! Help me!" But it is actually the construct's turn, and the three of them are swarming like towards you. They were chasing this guy, but now that he has run to you guys, they are catching up to the three of you. So we're gonna get attacks from each of them, against one of you. So like one against Nedry, one against Sinhorn, and one against the dock worker. So first, of course, it runs along and it opens its little beak-like robot mouth and attempts to take a chomp, makes a bite. It does a bite, and it's attacking the dock worker guy first. That's an 11, which does hit him because he is not especially like a fighter. And that's gonna do 5 piercing damage, and it has him grappled. Like it's got its beak like chomped on like the corner of his uniform, so he can't get away at the moment. And then it raises its little tail up, and you can see that the tip of the tail sparks like with electricity. And that gets him to for another 4 piercing damage, and he looks really hurt. He's not unconscious, but he can't take another hit like that. All right, so, and then now attacking Nedry. Oh, shoot, a crit right off the bat for the bite.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. So that's going to be 5 piercing damage. And you also have your robes caught in its little beak, robot metal beak. And then it raises its tail up. But it misses with its tail as it tries to zap you with electricity, but misses with a 6. As for Zinhorn, it's doing its same pattern. It gets a 13 to hit.
Hit.
That because you don't have your armor, right?
Yeah, I'm armor class 10 right now.
Okay. That's going to be 5 piercing damage for you, and you also are grappled at the moment. And then the tail, that's going to be 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
Yeah. And you're going to get 6 piercing damage and 1 lightning damage. But are you? I forget. You're resistant to lightning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no lightning damage for you.
Okay.
Yeah. So these things have just like swarmed up on you, just like grabbed you with their beak, and are trying to zap you with their tails. So, Nedry, it's your turn.
Okay. Question. I am grappled, you said?
Yes. So,
Okay.
which means that like you can still do your attacks or whatever. The only thing you can't do right now is run away. You can't.
But
Move
what
away
about
from
Misty
it.
Step? I wasn't sure where we were
Misty
feeling
Step
on that.
would absolutely get you out
Okay.
of the. Yeah.
So he would definitely Misty Step to find some higher ground that's around.
Okay,
It's
sure.
a 30 feet
Yep.
range.
We're on like a loading dock sort of area here. So what?
I'm picturing like up on a crate.
Yeah, on a crate, sure. Okay. Poof. Something.
These
tall
things
enough
hurt a lot.
that it wouldn't be able to reach you.
Yep. And that's it for this round.
Okay. All right. Zinhorn.
I am going to do my breath weapon on the one that is grappling me.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's so that's going to be my bonus action, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do I do my regular action first or?
You can do either way.
Okay. So we are going to go. Where's my regular breath weapon? So it's got to roll a saving throw versus Constitution with a target of 12.
Are you doing your lightning breath?
I was going to, yeah.
Okay. Well, the reason I ask is because.
Oh, I've got the 2 different ones now.
Well, yes. So there's that.
Oh, lightning is Dex saving throw.
Yeah, but what you find as you breathe lightning over its body is that it just sort of crackles along the surface and doesn't seem to affect it at all.
Okay. And I am going to move over to the dwarf and do cure wounds.
Okay.
And given how hard I was hit, I'm going to do it at 2nd level.
Okay, great.
And he's going to get 14 points back.
Yeah. He's just he's not like an adventurer, so that gets him back up to full. He looks extremely grateful because he was in rough shape there.
Yeah.
Okay, so and you guys were all kind of in a little pack there together until Nedry moved away. Okay, anything else on your turn?
I think I've already done my bonus action. So
yeah. Okay.
My action was the heal, so I can't attack. So all right.
Okay. So the dock worker is going to use his action to try to break the grapple to pry this thing's beak off of him. So he rolls. Oh, yeah, he definitely rolls strong enough to break the grapple. And then he is going to basically try to run further away. But it's going to make a opportunity attack at him with its tail. But it misses. So this guy, he gets away. He pulls the thing off of him and runs a bit further away. He puts some distance between them, but he doesn't look like he's just like leaving you guys for dead. It was just more like trying to get out of the pack and figure out what to do. All right, now it is their turn again. I'm just going to go ahead and start calling them the creature names because, otherwise I'm going to say it later. We're going to call these things kitty widgets.
It sounds so cute.
Yeah.
Not
Now,
deadly at all.
Here's the thing. Except for the sort of bizarre combination of bird slash dog slash scorpion slash robot, which is not like, an S class combination. But it's it is nonetheless there's aspects to it that would call cute if it wasn't trying to kill you.
I mean, generally, when things are trying to kill me, that's when the cuteness does go out the window.
Yeah. Okay. So the one that had been grappling you, Nedry, chases after you, and it actually, when it gets to the bottom of the crate, it actually just starts climbing right up the side of the crate. Its little pincer legs that end in these sharp points just tung, 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 tung. But so it gets back up to where you are, but it has to dash to do that.
Okay.
So that one, that's all of its action for this turn.
Oh, that's really impressive. Oh, that's closer.
Yeah. So the let's see, the one that was going after the dock worker also chases him, but you can see that these things, they're small. Like I said, like they're the size of like medium to large size dog. Like they are small in terms of their mechanical size, and they're a little bit slow in the sense that they have to use their dash action to keep up with a medium creature's normal move. So the one that's chasing the dock worker has to dash to catch up with him, but it does. That is what it does. But the one that's right there by you, Zinhorn, is going to attack you again.
Okay.
Yeah. It gets a natural 1 on its attempt to bite you again.
Yay.
And then, but it gets a 19 with its tail.
Ouch.
And does 6 piercing damage and would do another 1 lightning damage, except you are resistant to that. And so once again, 1 reduces to 0 and you're good. So, well, you still got poked by
right.
A little zappy tail, but otherwise, that's it. So, Nedry, this thing is climbing up the crate after you.
Yeah. Caught between admiration and fear, as usual. Is Zinhorn within about 30 feet of me?
Yeah, I think so, because you were all kind of in a little clump, and then you poofed 30 feet away, so.
Okay. Viriae Armis, safety first. And I will cast Shield.
Okay.
Slap onto Protective Verses. And with that, spend a point of Protective Verses to give 17 temporary hit points to Zinhorn.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Great. And so shield is up on you for the round, right? Until your next turn. Is that right?
No, sorry, it's Mage Armor.
Oh, I follow. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Sorry, if I was reading Shield, it's something else. And
that's great. So excellent. That's good stuff. So.
And I'm going to try to move to where Zinhorn is.
Okay, it is going to take its opportunity attack with its bite. But it only rolls a 9, so that's probably not going to
enough.
Grab you. So you hear the clank of its beak snapping shut where you used to be before you moved away.
Okay.
And so where do you move to?
Towards Zinhorn? I don't think I can get to him right yet, but.
Okay, yeah, in that direction though. You hop down off the crate.
Trying not to look terrified by the thing chasing.
Make an acrobatics roll just to see if you look cool.
Chances are slim, but let's give it a try. 5.
Not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah. All right. So you make your way part way back to Zinhorn. Okay, Zinhorn. What about you?
Well, they're 30 feet away in both directions now, right?
No. So the one that had been going after Zinhorn is about 30 feet away. The other one. Well, I guess you're right. The other one is 25 feet away.
Okay, so yeah, my 15-foot cone isn't going to get both of them.
No, right now you don't have any way to get 2 of them in a 15-foot cone.
Okay, so I am going to try an unarmed strike.
Okay.
And I'm going to follow that up with the spiritual weapon.
Okay. This is the one that's right.
Yeah,
next
the
to it.
spiritual weapon is a bonus attack.
Yep.
All right. So, actually, yeah. Let me try that.
Okay.
All right. I got a 16 on the unarmed strike.
Nice. That hits.
And for damage, I will do. Come on. It does 4 points of bludgeoning.
Nice. Yeah. You clock it right alongside its metal beak, and it kind of you hear its neck joints crunch a little bit.
Okay. And I'm gonna have to manually remember where my spells were for when we return to
Oh,
the
yeah.
under the train station. Spiritual weapon. There we go. I rolled a 14 for the spiritual weapon, and I'm creating it over by the one that's attacking the dock worker.
Okay, so a 14 doesn't hit, unfortunately, but you've created the spiritual weapon, so it's over there now.
Okay.
All right. Great. So it is the dock worker's turn now, and he looks down near where he is and picks up a crowbar, and he attempts to just try to clock this one that's right by him. And he hits it. He does 3 damage to it. Which, not a ton, but, he's helping.
Yep.
Yeah. So he kind of like knocks it and it sort of lurches sideways a little bit before clunk, 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 coming back up.
Now, if he's smart, he'll now use all of his movement and force it to dash so it won't be able to attack him.
Well, I mean, it will get an opportunity attack if he runs.
Yeah,
but it won't
one
be able to
one attack instead of 2.
No, that's a good point, and I think that he does see the wisdom in like these things are a little bit slower, so if he can kite it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Good thinking. Yeah, I think he realizes that, given that his initial instinct to run away was already present.
Okay.
Okay, it does hit him though with the opportunity attack, which means that it grapples him with its so it does 4 damage and grapples him, so he's not able to get away. Okay, so now it is their turn again. So that one is. It's already got him grappled, but it like lets go to make another bite attack. And it does hit for another 5 damage. And then the tail. Tail gets a natural 1, so no tail damage, but it does
It's a pretty
have
sad
him
tail.
grappled again. The one that is by you, Nedry, I think is able to catch up with you. So,
Probably.
Yeah, so it makes its bite attack. It got another crit.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
And rolled double 1s on the 2 damage dice though, so lucky you. 4 piercing damage, but you are grappled again. And these things are not terribly strong, but it's just like it kind of gets its little hooked beak got the hood of your robe caught in it. But then it tries to zap you with its tail. It gets a 13. Doesn't probably hit.
That is a miss now.
All right. Good thing you got your mage armor up, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the tail misses. Now Zinhorn. An 11 for the bite.
That will hit.
Okay, that's no armor. have to go get your armor. That's going to do 4 piercing damage, and it's got you grappled. And then the tail gets only a 7 to hit, so that'll miss as well.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, Nedry, you're up again.
Okay. Hmm. All right. Let's what did I call it? Spiritus Draconis Flamma.
As I cast the Dragon's Breath Fire and
Nice.
start that effect going.
Okay.
And that's a bonus action, so I'll use it to attack.
Mm-hmm.
It is a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That's cocked. It gets a 14.
14 is not enough.
Ah, there you go.
So it takes 13 points of fire damage.
Ooh. And that one had already. It had already taken a hit. Is that right? No. No.
No.
Okay. I wrote that. No. Yeah. Okay. Yours hadn't been hit. It was Zinhorn's that had been hit. Okay. So it is not completely destroyed, but it is on the verge. You can see that you have fried a lot of its components. It's moving in a much more jerky fashion now. It's very, crispy, and you can see smoke coming from parts of it that suggest it might have some internal components that are now on fire. It's in rough shape, but not destroyed.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Zinhorn, wait, no. Yes, Zinhorn, it is your turn.
All right. So Nedry came back toward me. So now I've got 2 of them within 15 feet of each other.
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to use my
I'll say yeah. You.
my metallic dragon breath.
Okay. So tell me what they need to do.
They have to roll a Constitution save with a target of 12.
Okay.
So you're spewing forth small metallic dragons.
No.
One succeeds and the other does not. I'll say that the one that's closest to you does succeed. The one that's by Nedry does not.
All right. Each creature in the area must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 20 feet away.
Okay.
Each creature must save in a Constitution saving throw or become incapacitated at the start of my next turn.
I think that is you have to choose one or the other of those two.
All right. So I'll choose incapacitated.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So the one that is currently grappling you, Zinhorn, seems to it little panels zip over its eyes in some of the openings, and it's like seems to and resists your breath. But the one that had just taken Nedry's fire breath seems to be knocked over, and it is completely at the moment it seems to be inoperative.
Does it let
Okay.
go of me?
Yes, it's incapacitated, so
Okay.
it would drop the grapple.
Okay.
That's new.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I will use my spiritual weapon to try and hit the one that's over by the dock worker.
Good idea.
They changed my character sheet somehow. There it is.
Well, part of it's changed because you're the new version of the Dragonborn now, so that's
Right.
changed some of it.
So I got a 12.
A 12 unfortunately doesn't hit. It kind of clonks along these things, but they're naturally made of metallic armor, so
Yep.
a little
So
harder
it's
to damage than that.
I keep hearing it, and we keep hearing gong,
Yeah.
but not doing any damage.
Yeah. All right. So the dock worker is gonna try his crowbar again. Nope, that's a miss. But he is going to. No, let's see. Would he? I already rolled it, so that is what he tried to do. And so he is grappled by it, and that's what he has. Okay, so it is the kitty widget's turn again. So against the dock worker. Oh, it misses on both attacks.
Nice.
Lucky guy.
Be the crowbar.
Yeah. The one that had been attacking Nedry is currently incapacitated. So it's just sort of lying on its side. Seems to be kind of like twitching spasmodically, but not able to do anything useful this turn. But the one that's there by Zinhorn is going to attack again. And it gets an 18 for the bite, which is going to do 5 piercing damage, and you are still grappled by it. But it only
Okay.
gets a 10 with the tail. Does that hit?
My armor class is 10.
Yeah, okay, so it does. So that's 4 piercing damage and enough lightning damage for you to take 1 point of lightning damage.
All right. Well, my temporary hit points are almost gone. That was
Good thing you had him.
it was a very good thing.
Yeah. All right, so that is their turn. Nedry, you were up again.
Okay. Here's an odd question. Is the dwarf within 30 feet of Zinhorn?
Yeah, I think so, because once again, like, he has a 25-foot movement speed, and that's all he did to run away, so he's within 30 feet, yeah.
Okay. Then Nedry runs over to Zinhorn. I hope this will help. And taps him on the shoulder. Various Almas. And I cast Mage Armor on Zinhorn.
Okay, can you have it up? Oh, I guess,
It's
yeah.
not a concentration spell.
Is
and
it
it's
a spell
touch.
can you cast it on another person, or is it self-only?
It's touch range. It's not self-only.
Oh, interesting. I guess I had always thought that it was self-only, but that's great.
It's most often used that way because everybody else wears armor.
Right, but because he doesn't have armor on.
Right.
Okay, so that, I think, gives you +3 to your armor class.
It's
currently, right?
13 plus your dex is your new armor class.
Yeah.
So it's not a
All
huge bonus.
Well,
But I will also slap Protective Versus,
Okay.
and I will aim at the dwarf.
Okay.
And now the dwarf gets, just a second. $11 points of temporary hit points.
Nice. He could definitely use it. All right. Good deal. Okay. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay. Zinhorn.
All right. We're gonna change tactics here. I'm gonna use guiding bolt against the one that's right in front of me.
Okay. The one that had been incapacitated starts getting up, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, hang on. Let me double check how that works, because it
Yeah, I thought that started on my turn, my next turn.
well, but it is your
Oh.
next turn, right?
Right. Okay.
But yeah, in any case, roll your guiding bolt.
All right. 10.
10, unfortunately.
Cannot hit today.
Oh. Yeah, let's see. Double check the. Yeah. So at the start of this, as your next turn is when it ends. So that one that had been incapacitated, no longer incapacitated. So your guiding bolt misses, unfortunately, but your you still have your spiritual.
I have my spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
Yep. Where did it go? There it is. Natural one.
Oh,
All right. I will be right back.
okay.
I need water.
Yeah, the
It's
dice
slow.
are not helping you out right now. But the dwarf, suddenly feeling much more healthy than he did a moment ago, is going to try again with. He's going to try again with the crowbar. Yeah, he's not rolling well either. Although that's been fairly spread out right now, because I'll tell you that these critters are not getting very great rolls either.
I mean, they've had 2 crits against me,
Well,
so
that's true. They did have 2 crits about you against you, but they've also been rolling a bunch of other misses. But
That's the way it goes.
it's all the way it goes. So it is their turn again. So let's see. The one's attacking our dock worker friend, and both of those do hit. Um, so only 3 damage from the bite, and then 6 for the piercing and 7. So yeah, almost all of the temporary hit points that that you had just given him, but he's still up. Would not have been. Okay, and then the one that had been incapacitated, badly smoking, is going to run back over and try to attack you again, Nedry. Those both look like they're going to hit. So 22 to hit for the bite.
yeah.
But only does 3 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then the little tail zaps you. Does 5 piercing damage and 1 lightning damage.
Okay.
All right,
It's all on the temporary hit points right now still, so.
that's good. And Zinhorn, the one that's got you, misses. Wait, no. So the tail just hits because it's 13 now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the bite misses, but the tail hits, and so because it let go of you to try to bite, you are not grappled by it currently.
Okay.
But it does 5 piercing damage and 1 lightning damage.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right, Nedry.
Okay. Does that mean 2 of them are right next to me then?
Yes, and one of them was the one that's already badly hurt.
I will maneuver just slightly, let forth a raucous belch of fire.
All right. So they're both rolling dex.
Dex saving throws.
Yeah. So first the one that you had hurt previously, and then the one by Zin. They both fail.
All right. Minimal damage. They both take 8 fire.
Okay. Well, that definitely kills the one that had been attacking you before, and now the one that had been attacking Zinhorn looks about that shape. Like it's clearly starting to malfunction. It's very badly damaged, but
Okay.
it's not.
You got
quite,
this.
Little thumbs up to Zinhorn and then goes running towards the dwarf.
All right.
So there's
great.
probably a chance to attack if he's.
Yeah. Okay. So, Zinhorn, your turn.
I am going to do healing word on the 3 of us at 3rd level.
Okay. Is I think healing word has to be mass healing word to do more than one person.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, healing word is a single target, I believe.
At a higher level for that one, it's just more dice.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to do cure wounds on myself at 3rd level.
Okay.
And that will give me 17 hit points back.
Okay.
And now my spiritual weapon attack. $18.
There you go. That'll hit.
And that will do a whopping 3 points of damage.
All right. Every little bit helps. Okay. So it is now that his turn, and he sees that you guys have had some like area attacks, so he's going to once again try to use his action to break the grapple, and he succeeds. And so he is going to run towards you, but it's going to try to bite him again. And it misses. So he manages to run back towards where you guys are.
It's gonna hide behind the little gnome.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. And so the one that well, yeah, so I guess you ran towards him, right? So how let's say that he runs past you to get closer to where Zinhorn is, almost to where Zinhorn is. And I think, yeah, so that's interesting. So the one that had been attacking him does run right past you, Nedry. And so you could probably make an opportunity attack if you have something.
All he's got is fists to do that sort of thing
I
with.
mean, would you do it?
I can certainly too. Which is
Better than
just
nothing.
What would that be?
It's usually
dex-based?
you always
Unarmed
have
strike.
proficiency, so it's strength plus proficiency.
Okay. Do I have a strength plus proficiency? I'm going to use the. I don't have any of those, so I'm just going to roll my strength and I'll add the +3. Oh wow, that's a 15 to hit.
Okay. 15 doesn't hit, unfortunately. And also, the
Hey.
damage would be 1 plus your strength modifier.
Yeah, so it'd be 0.
It's like, as it runs by, but it does have to dash to catch back up with him. But it does do that. All right, and then the one of them was destroyed, but the remaining one is damaged, but still trying to attack you, Sinhorn.
Okay.
But let's see, it gets a 6 on the bite, but it does get a 14 on the tail.
That will hit.
Yeah. And so that's 5 piercing damage. You're grappled. And
No, the bite
For the
missed. The tail hit.
oh, you're right. Okay, so you're right. But it is 5 piercing damage for the tail and 1 lightning damage.
Okay.
And I'm including your resistance in that.
Okay.
So yeah, and that makes it Nedry's turn again.
All right. Well,
Hey, get back here! Turn around, maneuver slightly, and I should be able to catch both of them with the breath weapon.
Okay. Yeah.
So a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. So let's see. First, the one that is was attacking the dock worker. Yeah, that one gets a natural 20, so I think it succeeds.
So half
Other-
damage.
The other one gets a 15. Is that enough?
That meets.
Okay, so meet it to beat it.
Yeah.
So they both succeed that time.
So they
But-
both take 5 points of fire.
Okay, well, the one that had been attacking Zinhorn only had 3 hit points left, so that one is destroyed. And then the other one is also in pretty rough shape now. So that makes it your turn, Zinhorn. There's only one of these things left. It's in pretty rough shape. Can you finish it off?
I certainly hope so. I'm going to do Guiding Bolt and follow that up with Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
Guiding Bolt, I rolled a 9.
Okay. Nope.
That's not going to do anything.
No.
Spiritual Weapon, I rolled a 12. That's not going to do anything.
Boy, the dice don't like you tonight. Okay.
My trick is I make them roll the dice. It's much easier.
Yeah. Okay, so our dock worker friend still has his crowbar. Oh, he hits. And he's going to do just enough to just, like, he baseball swings this crowbar. And he just takes its head off. Just. And the rest of it sort of sparks and twitches and then drops down to the ground. And he kind of just stands there holding the crowbar. Thank you.
You got him. A little smoke flying out of Nedry's mouth still.
What were those things, and why were they chasing you? And who are you? My name's Nedry. This is Zinhorn.
I'm gonna walk up and heal the dock worker.
Okay. He doesn't need much, so I don't know what. Your
Okay,
need is,
so a
but-
first level cure wounds.
Yeah, because like he only has 10 hit points. So,
All right. Well, I just gave him 10 hit points.
well, so I just mean that. Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
plenty. So is the point.
He's back to full.
Yes. And he just looks down at himself and just, wow. You know, no matter how many times I see it, that's incredible. Thank you. You asked me a lot of questions. Let's see. What were they? I don't know. Why were they chasing me? I don't know. I'm Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. I'm
Where were they
Zinhorn.
chasing you from then?
Well, I was trying to unload a shipment a couple platforms down, and these things just poured out of the crate. It was supposed to be clockwork parts, but like not like that. It's just supposed to be like gears and pistons and stuff.
Well, they still are, technically. More so now. Some of them are melted.
He kind of prods one with the crowbar. It seems, entirely destroyed at this point. But he says, but yeah, I mean, I was just trying to. I wasn't even trying to open the crates. I was just shifting them off of the pallet into the one of the transport elevators. But all of a sudden, this one just smashed open. These things came out of it and attacked me. I mean,
Were there more?
These were the only ones that I saw.
Were there more crates that are supposed to be clockwork parts?
Yeah, I mean, there was a whole pallet that's 8 crates, and I had only just moved the first one.
Okay. Let me go get my armor and my pack before we go investigate more of this.
Yeah, well, I you know what? If you don't mind, I'm just going to sit down for a second.
That's probably a good idea.
So, start from the beginning. Tell me exactly.
And he pulls out his book and starts asking him
Okay.
the 400 questions.
Sure. Like he does his best to answer your questions, especially now that things seem a bit calmer. He's, the adrenaline is fading. He's able to, catch his breath a little bit. But yeah, so he, works here on the platform. There wasn't expected to be anything unusual about this shipment at all. It was, it was just another day on the job.
Were the
Until
crates there for a long time?
he's not sure. He just knows that
Okay.
that's what he was assigned to do today.
Okay.
At a guess, he would say they've been there for a couple of weeks. Which, frankly, he says is that's a long time for the standard shipment stuff, because there are people who pay to have cargo stored in long-term storage, but by and large, if you're in the trading shipping business, it's not, you don't make money by having things sit in one place for a long time. So it had been there for a while, but it's also in the area that would usually see more often traffic. But it's not like, how, for example, Yober's Castle has been in one spot for a while.
Right.
Who was the shipment for?
I would have to go look in the label. Like I just loaded onto the platform. The buyer's going to come pick it up, but I mean, I'm sure it says on the label, although at the moment I'm a little wary of going back and looking closer, but I mean, I guess, I got to tell my shift supervisor at least. What
Yeah.
happened.
We'll walk with you.
Oh,
Well, what I was actually going to suggest is that I go tell my shift supervisor and you guys go to platform A23.
Okay.
Sure. Was there any reason you were moving them today?
I mean, I don't make those decisions. I just do what I'm told.
Okay, we just assigned to you today then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to A23.
Before you go,
Reaches into his book, kind of to the back part, pulls out one of the cards.
our card. in case you need to contact us. This
He,
is a little out of our normal range, but I'm glad to help.
well, the protectors is sure right. I mean, you sure protected me.
And your pockets.
I guess that's true. Although he does like one of the shoulders of his coverall is torn, but it's not the pockets. All right, so yeah, he runs off. He says that he needs to let his shift supervisor know right away, but that his assumption is that the shift supervisor will send him and some other people back along to see what else is going on there.
Okay.
Zinhorn, do you have enough room in your pack for these things? We should probably take them back to see what Sequential has to say about them. I mean, he's off busy right now doing that thing, but he'll want to know about them.
I mean, these things are, like I said, the size of a medium to large dog, and they probably weigh like 40 pounds each. Actually, I'm going to say more than that because they're metal, so probably like 80 pounds each, really.
Okay. I mean, I'm unencumbered and carrying 102 pounds.
Yeah, so I mean, you could probably, like strap one of them along your back pretty easily, but I mean, all three would be harder.
Well, just pick the best one, the one that's least
Unless
damaged.
you want to put it in a bag of holding or something.
Well, I didn't know if we had that with us at this particular point. So
I mean, well, I guess you guys tell me.
If it's attuned to you, don't you need to keep it within 100 yards or something to maintain the attunement?
This one, normally
No.
that's true, but this one is different.
yeah, because Azeld was still tuned to
Yeah.
it, even though she's not necessarily on this plane. So,
Right.
but if it's already something he would be carrying, then he would definitely be carrying it. So
Yeah.
Right. I can just put them in here. I'm not used to this yet.
they kind of open up the bag and start scooping them in.
Okay.
Give me a hand. These are really heavy.
Brr.
All right.
All right.
So you've recovered your armor, Zinhorn?
Yep, I got my armor on. I got my pack on.
It actually does take a few minutes to put your armor on, but we don't have to stand here and role play while you tighten straps and so on. But we can say some of that happened while Nedry was interviewing Jeff and so on. So you're re-equipped, and you are all heading to, the two of you are heading now to platform A23, which is what where he directed.
Where he told it. Yep.
Yeah.
We're going to A23.
Yep. So you can you make your way, you follow your way back kind of along the path that he took, and are you looking for anything like tracks or anything on the way, or are you just looking for the the numbers you're heading for?
I mean, can we see tracks? I kind of envisioned that we were on docks, like docks by the water.
It's more like metal decking, and so you wouldn't necessarily expect there to be a lot of tracks yet either. I was asking if you're looking for any sign of that sort of thing, as opposed to just saying, okay, let's find the right aisle and the right row.
I mean, these things were metal. They would have scratched at the deck. So I'm going to just see if I can see anything, as far as like, did they just come from the same place, or and were there maybe more of them that went in another direction or something?
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Perception. Finally, 24.
There you go. Yeah, so you don't see any sign that any of them split apart, but like you do detect, like, oh, look, here's sort of a pattern of scratches along the metal that seems to have come from the passage of these things. And so you don't see any diverging from the path right now, but you feel confident that you could recognize these sorts of tracks if you saw them somewhere else.
That's what I was hoping for.
So you guys make your way to the, this platform A23, and Once there, you do see that there is kind of like there's a big pallet that had, 8 crates on it, each of them about 4 foot cubed. One of them had been lifted off the rest with a hoist, and it looks like it had been halfway to where it was going to get lowered onto a nearby freight elevator platform, but it was clearly dropped sooner than that, and it is split open. The crate is shattered, and you can see, like evidence that these things came out of the crate.
So can I
Wait a
tell if it dropped and then they came out, or if the act of them coming out caused it to drop?
Make an investigation check.
I'll assist.
Sure. So either of you can roll with advantage, or you can both roll.
I got a 19 on the first roll and a 10 on the second one. So 19.
19. You think like the crate was clearly damaged additionally when it was dropped, but you think, looking at it, that there are parts of this crate that were like chewed and torn and scraped away from the inside, and it was not just that it came apart when it was dropped, although
Okay.
that did happen. So like it was clearly being forced open from inside and then broke entirely apart when it was dropped.
Are there other parts that were in the crate, or was there nothing else in the crate?
There is other stuff, but it's nothing that you would think of as like a finished part. There is, first of all, not nearly enough material for like a crate this size, even though, metal parts you wouldn't necessarily expect to be, like densely packed in a crate, just because that would be very heavy. But nonetheless, there's a lot less in there than you would expect there to be. And what is there seems as though it's only partial parts, right? Like it'll be a gear, but like with just 2/3 of the gear just missing in a imprecise way. So meaning it's not like right angles and sharp edges. It's almost like it was like almost eaten away by acid, or sort of just carved away in some other form.
I wonder if they consumed them or they made themselves out of them,
Yeah.
or if someone put them inside as a nasty discovery.
The metal of those parts does resemble the metal of the creatures.
I wonder why they would do that. Unless, I was reading an article the other day from Tessa Tam. It was on the spontaneous generation of spirit forms. I wonder if that's what happened. A spirit just sort of came to existence, found itself in a box of parts, and tried to make sense of its existence, and then did it 2 more times. Maybe that doesn't quite work.
No. Let's look at the box and check the label, and also look around and see if there are any other crates like this.
So there are definitely other crates like it. In fact, there are 7 that, except for not being smashed open, seem identical. Just packed, that they were in just like one row of 4 too high, right? And so it was the top one on the end that had been taken off, but the rest are all still together. You find the shipping label. But right now it just has like code numbers on it. It doesn't seem to have like a delivery address, but it does have some sort of code number that presumably they track at,
Presumably Jeff will understand.
It'll be recorded in their records at least.
Yeah. So why don't you write down the numbers on this? I'm gonna quietly move over to the other crates and put my ear against them to hear if, like, is there something clawing,
Yeah.
moving around inside?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Do I need to do like a stealth check or anything
No,
to
I mean,
walk
well,
up
okay.
there?
If you are actually stealthy,
I'm wearing armor.
yeah. So
That's
please,
just silly.
make the disadvantage stealth check for me.
Yeah, I'll do the disadvantage stealth check.
Well, actually, I think you
I
don't
got a
have to-
natural 20 and a 2.
So are you actually disadvantaged on your stealth?
I am.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So so the two is
A 2. Yes. I finally roll a 20 and I get a 2.
yeah.
And then for perception,
Zinhorn, can you keep it down?
I got a
To write this
22.
down.
Okay.
You're making a lot of noise.
So you are listening in and into the crates, and you don't hear the sound of any movement or scratching or anything. But as you're kind of just moving around these different crates and looking around at them, you do see that there is another one of them and it's the one that was underneath. Um, you realize that the one that had been underneath the one that was moved away does seem to have like a hole, an irregular hole in the top of it.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
So it has an irregular hole in the top of it, and one of the corners looks damaged, but not a hole there.
Okay, I go back to Nedry, and there's there might be more of these things in the crate underneath.
Oh. I wonder if any of the other crates have them. If they're all filled with them, this could be very, very bad.
Yeah, it could be, especially given how quickly those things attacked and how nasty they were.
Well, I was thinking about that. I'm wondering if they attacked because they were a defensive mechanism.
So you think that like the way that the crate disintegrated and they dropped, that they thought they were being attacked?
Maybe. Or maybe they were being moved at the wrong time. I asked Jeff about it, but he didn't know why he was being ordered to do it today. It could be that they're overdue, or it could be they're underdue. Or it could be it's entirely intentional. It's hard to read at this point.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on that crate while we wait for Jeff and his boss, and we'll give them a few minutes.
All right.
Maybe we should take a look at the other ones too, just to make sure there aren't any other damages or.
I didn't see anything, but
but you kind of only looked around the outside. Do you
okay.
look down into the hole or?
Yeah, I guess I'll, once Nedry is watching, I will climb up on the far end of the stack and then walk over the other 5 crates and look down and in.
Sure. So what you see looking down into the one that had been on the bottom is that it's not entirely hollowed out, but there are parts of it that have been hollowed out and tunneled in. And in fact, it looks like there might be several more of these crates that have sort of like these things dug like a little rat's nest in these multiple crates. And so the fact that they were all sitting together, they sort of tunneled in, and there was only one opening, but they've made a little network den through the various crates by chewing through the sides of them, and it's just there was only the one where it was open.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. I don't think these things were intended to be in the crates at all, but they were looking for a home. And then they got disturbed, and they defended their home.
But how did they get in the crates? All the crates were sealed to begin with, except the holes where the crates were touching each other.
Maybe from below?
Well, that's a thought.
Or we can take a look at the crate that was already moved. It might have a hole somewhere that wasn't entirely obvious. I mean, it was broken apart, so we kind of just thought it was all broken apart, but there might just have been a hole.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you do a little bit more investigation in that way, like you have to move some of the inner material away, but there's certainly a hole on the bottom of that one where it would have matched the hole on the top of the one that it was on top of. you don't see any other holes. Other like so, there's essentially two holes like carved through it. There's one that's sort of dug out. It seems like it had been carved from the inside. And then there's one that was on the bottom that would have matched the one that it was sitting on top of. That's really all you kind of see in the way of the the positioning of them. But at the same time, as you are kind of investigating further, Zinhorn, you noticed something that you didn't pick up on right away because you did study the tracks of these things. But the reason it didn't register right away is because you do spot another set of tracks that are very similar, but bigger.
Nedry, we got company. There's a big one around here.
Really?
Yeah.
How much bigger? We should be able to see it if it's not too far away. I see the scrapes you're referring to, but can we follow them?
Yeah, let's try following them.
Okay. So go ahead and make a survival check, I guess, to try to follow the tracks.
Survival
And,
14.
And that can be with advantage if Nedry's helping.
He
Okay.
is just trained to help.
First roll was a 14. Second roll was a 19.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. So you guys are, making your way, following these tracks that do seem to weave around between some other little areas. And are you being stealthy in your tracking, or are you hurrying, or moving at normal pace? You could do any of those three.
I think we'd be moving at a normal pace.
Okay. So you are not being stealthy, but neither are you being incautious.
Yes.
All right. So I think you follow those tracks, and then you realize that there's a big area of the platform where you realize that it would be in shade most of the day because of where the next platform up, the next tier of the Sky Tower, shades it. So there's a whole little area that is, it's daytime, but there's an area that is kind of in deep shade and would be that way most of the day, you think. And so the tracks do lead their way into there, and you looking ahead, you realize that there's a few, containers up ahead where it looks like things are not stacked in the neat, orderly rows that most places are. There's something that seems like it's been dragged off crooked to touch up against the next row, which is very atypical because most of these crates are very orderly.
Any sign of Jeff and his boss yet?
No, but you guys were only there at the other crates for a few minutes, and now you have wandered away from there. So.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you could go back if you want to, but yeah.
Well,
What do you think, Nedry?
it's really quite fascinating. I think it might have burrowed in there or something.
Maybe.
I kind of wonder if it then sort of created the others. Like spiders. Only much worse.
Yeah. I kind of wondered about that too. I'm kind of low on spells, but at least I have my armor and my weapons now.
We should at least check it out. After all, if we can find some evidence of it, we'll be much better able to describe it to the dock authorities. They'll
Sure.
want to know if something can burrow through metal here. That would be really bad.
Yeah. All right. Let's move up.
Okay. So, as you are approaching that area, are you being stealthy now, or?
I'm gonna try and be stealthy.
Sure. All right. Let's
Be
have you
prudent.
both roll stealth then.
I rolled a pair of 6s.
Okay. How,
I
how about you,
rolled
Nedry?
18.
Okay. Um, all right. So, Nedry, you are not making a lot of noise, but Zinhorn is definitely up there doing very slow, very graceful, very fluid, cautious movements, and then still with each step it's clunk, clank, clank. It's just can't.
Actually, I want to picture this. I want to frame this in a comedic way
Okay.
where Nedric's taking these really gentle steps forward. And every time he takes a step, there's a clank. Another step, clank, as if it's
Yes.
him making the steps. Then you kind of pull back the frame a little bit and see Zinhorn standing, walking behind him.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's great. So as you are making your way across, uh, you suddenly, like ahead of you, see a little bit of a flash that looks like a little bit of an arc of electricity has lit the area up for a moment. But you basically just see the reflected light from where it would be coming from, and it just kind of.
Nedry raises an eyebrow, raises his book, makes a note. You see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
We're on the right track.
So as you creep forward, you turn the corner to see another one of these creatures, but this one is bigger. This one is the size of like maybe a full-grown deer. It is
Oh, boy.
a medium creature, and it's very similar in other many respects. This one is called a skitter widget.
Oh
The other
boy.
ones were kitty widgets. Yeah. But yes, what you see is that it seems to have like nudged some of these crates together to make sort of almost like a little bit of a nest shape. And it has its tail currently stuck inside, like there's a hole just about the size of a softball in one of the crates, and it has its tail stuck in there. Um, and it seems to be like hunching towards that, like that hole, and it's looking up at you, and it kind of makes a noise at you.
I don't understand that language.
But I will think at it if I am within 60 feet of it.
Okay.
Hi. We don't mean you any harm, but I think you're hurting things.
It doesn't give you any response. It doesn't seem to have language.
I don't think it understood me.
You didn't hear anything. Nedrick just sort of stared at it intently for a second.
I think it might be making more than a nest. We should probably try to put an end to it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Seems a shame, though. I mean, it's kind of beautiful in a sequential kind of way.
Yes, I agree.
You don't think it's a relative, do you?
No, I don't. Sequential was created a long time ago, and his master hasn't been seen in a very long time.
But it could be like a distant relative.
Yeah, just for game context, when we say a very long time, we're not talking about like hundreds of years or anything like that.
Oh, okay. I thought
It's
it was
5
like.
to- 6
Oh, I
days.
thought it was like 50 years.
Yeah, the time frame is a little bit fuzzy because Sequential himself didn't keep track of it very well. But
Right.
yeah, but we're not talking about like decades and decades. It's like the amount of time since his master has been missing is more on the range of like maybe 3 or 4 years.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna attack it.
Okay. So it had been just kind of hunching there. Obviously, like, to attempt to put its behavior in context with, say, animals, it seems to have been warning you away from its nest. But if you're going to move in, we're definitely going to roll initiative.
All righty.
Oh,
6.
all right.
17 again.
Zinhorn 6, Nedry 17. And it gets right in the middle with an 11. But I will allow Zinhorn, if you were going to take your first action, you can go ahead and do whatever your first thing would be.
Okay, I am going to cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
So it needs to make a Dex saving throw with a target of 13.
All right. It fails. It gets a 5.
And I roll 10 points of damage, radiant damage.
Nice. Okay, so it looks considerably tougher than the little ones, but it definitely takes that damage. It had been hunched, and it was starting to make aggressive noises at you as you approached, but then as you call upon the power of Rashama and hurl a bolt of radiant flame at it, it is engulfed and makes a variety of unpleasant hissing and clanking sounds and removes its tail from the little hole in the crate, and it doesn't seem to enjoy that at all. Okay. That will, so now we'll begin our initiative proper with Nedry.
Oh, okay. Here's an experiment.
Oh,
Mens novaculata.
Sorry.
oh,
What?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Cast a mind sliver.
Okay. And that's, is there any limitation on that one, or is it just intelligence saving throw no matter what it is?
You drive a disorienting spike of psychic energy into the mind of one creature you can see within range. If it doesn't have a mind, presumably that
Okay.
wouldn't
It
apply
does.
to it.
I just wasn't sure if it needed to have a certain intelligence score or anything like that.
Doesn't look like it. No, just an intelligence saving
All
throw.
right. Well, it's not super intelligent, turns out. It rolled a 6 minus 4. So yeah, no, it fails on that saving throw.
Okay. It takes 6 psychic damage,
Oh.
and will reduce. It subtracts 1d4 from its next saving throw. I don't know if that's just something it rolls.
Well, we can have you roll the 1d4 or it roll or whatever. We just need to remember that it's got that.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Oh, I see. You rolled it already. Okay. So
Yeah, I clicked the thing and then realized, oh wait, that might just be a
no,
penalty on his next
that's
roll.
fine. We'll subtract 4 the next time it makes a saving throw.
Okay.
Okay. So you do that, and it seems to, it's not immune to psychic damage or anything. So it does seem to, it lowers its head and it uses 2 of these front insect-like legs, kind of just trying to clear that whatever it was.
Okay, and Nedry will kind of just sort of half circle around it so that he's not in the same line that Zinhorn's in,
Okay.
just in case.
All right. Well, it turns out that it doesn't like any of that stuff that just happened. And it is now going to charge at you, Nedry, and make 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its tail. Like mama, like Skitter Widget, like Kitty Widget. But so the bite is, you're not gonna believe this. It's another crit.
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, you're just
Oh,
lucky good.
boy.
Keeps getting the crit on the bite and not the tail, where the tail has more damage that it, like more dice to roll. But
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna hit. So the bite. Oh, you got pretty lucky. The damage had some low rolls in it, but it's still going to be 12 piercing damage, and you are grappled.
That's lucky. All right.
Well, it's lucky for a crit on a much bigger.
Sure.
one.
Yeah. No. I agree. Just
And
it's,
then the tail though is only a 9 to hit, so
that misses.
So the thing that I was going to mention before, now that it's your turn, Zinhorn, is that technically the Mage Armor spell is still on you, but now that you're wearing armor, it's not effective. So you're
Right.
going to have your regular armor class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood.
Okay, so it's just attacked and it has Nedry grappled. And in fact, actually, I think with him grappled, it's actually going to. It used most of its movement to get up to him, but it drags him 5 feet back towards where it had been before, at the end of its turn. So now it's your turn.
Okay. Uh, so I can do 2-weapon fighting. I've never done that before.
Do you have 2 light weapons?
I have I have a dagger, a blind sight, and I have the
Yeah.
freezing drill spear.
The drill spear is not a light weapon, so it can't really be used
Okay.
for 2-weapon fighting.
Okay.
But you
Um,
certainly can attack with that. And if you attack with it two-handed, then it does more damage.
Okay. Actually, since it's gotta do a save, it's got a -4 on a save.
Yep.
I am going uh to do a spell attack. Um, that, I'm just going to do another Sacred Flame
Okay, so it's making a dexterity saving throw -4.
with a target of 13.
Yeah. Okay, so it would have been a dirty 20 -4. It would still make it 16.
Okay. That did not work.
Oh well. I mean,
Uh,
it was certainly helpful, but just not enough in this particular case.
Right. And so I am going to do spiritual weapon with my bonus action.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. And that's a 10.
Okay. Yeah, 10 does not hit.
That is not hitting. Okay. But the spiritual weapon's up.
Okay. So that makes it Nedry's turn again.
I don't like this.
I don't blame
Galeta. And I will Misty Step away,
All right.
40 feet away. Then I will move another 20 feet away.
30 feet away?
Sorry, 30 feet. Yes. Sorry. I will move another 25 feet away then, because
Okay.
it's still within range.
Yeah.
And I will once again do a Mind Sliver,
Okay.
because that's a cantrip.
Yeah. And once again, it's it's intelligence, not its best thing. That's going to be 10 on the die, -4.
All right. It takes 6 points of psychic damage,
All right.
and its next save is reduced by 2.
All right, great. Okay, so you having disappeared out from under it, it looks around briefly, but then spots Zinhorn, and so Zinhorn it clambers up, immediately, just easily just scales one of these crates to get at you, and it's going to attack you now.
Bring it on.
Yeah. So first the bite. The bite is going to be a 21 to hit
That'll hit.
for 7 piercing damage, and you are grappled.
Okay.
And then the tail is going to be 13 to hit, which I don't know if that hits you with your armor on.
It will not.
Great, lucky you. The tail, this spiky, sparking, pincer tail that it's got, tink, clanks off your armor. Okay, that is its turn. Zinhorn, you're up. It's got you grappled with it in its metal beak.
Alrighty. I am going to hit it with my mace.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I'm taking a look. Given the way I'm rolling, I'm actually going to pull 2 daggers.
Okay.
One is the dagger of blind sight. The other is just my normal dagger.
Okay.
and I'll do those two, and then I'll do the spiritual weapon.
All right.
So regular dagger first. That's 7. Dagger of blind sight got an 11.
Yeah. No.
This is not going well for me.
Hmm.
Spiritual weapon 17.
17 misses on the big one. Its armor
Oh.
is tougher. Yeah.
And
But you're
that's it
certainly
for
keeping
me.
it occupied, though.
All right.
You know, you are making lots of obvious attacks, and it's not super smart. You know, the little one just disappeared, but now you're here and fighting. So you were the one
You're
that was
doing
noisy
great.
already, anyway. All right. Uh, so that makes it your turn again, Nedry.
All right. Let's see.
Yeah, shouting words of encouragement to Zinhorn. You're doing great, and then do another mind sliver.
Okay.
So it's -2 in the roll as well.
Yeah. So that's a 13 minus 6.
Another 3 points of psychic damage,
Okay.
and the next save is reduced by 4.
All right. It's still pretty healthy, but you're certainly whittling it down. Okay. Are you doing anything else, or you're still kind of maintaining it at range?
It's still staying at range, yeah.
Okay. All right. It is its turn. It's already got you grappled at the moment, Zinhorn, but it's going to briefly release to bite again, and then hit you with its tail. Those are both going to miss. I think that's that's an 11 for the bite and a
Miss.
12 for the tail.
Miss.
All right. And so you are no longer grappled because it missed with its bite attack this round.
Yay.
All right. Now it's your turn.
All right. I am gonna go back to the sacred flame.
Okay.
And was the mind sliver successful?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's -4, I think.
Okay.
That's gonna fail. Yeah, that fails.
Okay, so that is gonna do 10 points of damage.
Nice. Once again, it is wreathed in holy fire and does not enjoy the experience. It seems to be. It's like snapping out at the air, like it can just like bite whatever the fire is coming from.
And I'm gonna
Tail's
try
kind of thrashing wildly.
and spiritual weapon
All right.
may hit yet. Natural
There
20.
you go. That'll hit.
25 total.
Nice.
So, and I get what a second D8 with that.
Correct.
All right, so the first was 6 points, and the second is 5 points, so that's 11.
Okay, so the first one was 6, including your
It was
modifier?
4 plus 2,
Yeah, perfect.
and the second one was a 5.
Okay, so another 11 points to it. Yeah, it's starting to look kind of beat up now. All right. Landed a couple of good hits there, Zinhorn.
Finally.
Yeah. Okay, so that was your the sacred flame and the spiritual weapon. So now Nedry.
Okay. Starting to move in a little bit closer. Let's see, probably still, let's say 30 feet away. So about
Okay.
half the distance. But once again, with the mind sliver combo.
Okay. It rolled pretty high that time, so that's 19 minus 4 for 15.
So it needed to make a 15.
Okay, so yeah, it got 15 exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it figured something out. It had a tiny little light bulb go on, like literally in its head. Like you see a little part of something in its head just lights up, and it figured out how to how to avoid that damage this time.
Nice.
that makes it its turn. It's still fighting the obvious target here, and in fact, you suspect that it might not even really be aware that the other pain is coming from something else at this point. So it's still fighting you, Zinhorn. It tries
Okay.
to bite you again. That's going to miss. So that was just a 9 to hit. But the tail goes out and hits you, or tries and gets a 14 to hit.
Miss.
You guys are lucky that it hasn't hit with the tail yet, because it's more powerful than the little ones. But it hasn't managed to hit with the tail yet. So it is having difficulty hitting you in your armor. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to go back to the triple attack
Okay.
since I don't have the bonus from the Mind Sliver.
Mm-hmm.
So the first dagger is a 23,
That'll hit.
and that will do 6 points of damage.
Okay. It does seem to damage it fully.
Okay. The second dagger is a natural 1.
Yeah. Well, that will miss.
And the spiritual weapon. It rolled off of a natural 20, but I still got a 19.
Oh, okay. Well, a 19 does hit.
All right. And that will do 5 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. So you're knocking it around. It's leaking some sort of greenish fluid from some bizarre internal component. It's kind of burned up a little bit. It's looking beat up and rough compared to where it started, for sure. Okay, you're up again, Nedry.
Okay. Yeah, let's move. We'll stay where we are for the moment and try the Mind Sliver once more.
Okay, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, it is
Yeah.
broken, and I want to make it more broke.
Yeah. Well, it gets a 7 that time, so
Okay.
that's gonna fail.
Nice.
So it takes 2 points of psychic damage and reduced save by 1. That's not as much as I'd
Not
hoped.
as bad, but
And then move a little bit closer.
okay.
And Spiritus Draconis Flamma. I cast Dragon's Breath at 3rd level.
Oh, nice.
Move to a little bit closer, so I'm within 15 feet. And now it has to make a dexterity saving throw as I spit out large flame.
All
I
right.
spit
And
flame.
it's
yo.
grappling me. Wouldn't that affect its dexterity?
Technically, no. It.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't.
Worth asking.
Yeah, that's all right.
It is reduced by 1 for the.
Yeah. So it rolled so the die was a 15. It normally has a +2, and then it would be -1, so that would be 16 is the score.
So it does make it. So it only takes half damage. That's half of 7 fire. I rolled
Okay.
really, really bad. In fact, I think I rolled almost minimum there. Oh wait, nope, that's missing 1 die. So it'll be another D6 onto that.
Okay.
Rule D6. I forgot I cast it at a higher level. So a total of 11. So half is 5.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that is Nedry's turn. It is its turn again, and it is, it's like an animal. You guys are invading its nest. It's fighting to the death here. So once again, it's going to try to bite you, Zinhorn. That's an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
So this is with the bite, and it snaps its beak around you and does 12 piercing damage. Grappling you again.
Ouch.
Yeah. And now the tail. That's going to be 24 to hit.
Ooh.
So the piercing damage is 9. The lightning damage is 7. So you're going to take 3.
I'm down.
Okay. And I was just going to say you're going to have to make a Constitution saving throw or else be stunned, but that's moot if you're unconscious.
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
Okay. All right. So that happens. That's its turn. Zinhorn, it's your turn. Please make a death saving throw.
Uh,
It's just a d20.
okay. Five.
Okay, so that's one failure.
Okay.
All right. Um, now that would make it Nedry, your turn.
Zinhorn, Zinhorn, get up.
And he's going to try to attract its attention and try to drag it away from Zinhorn's fallen body. I do still have the dragon's breath up, so that
Yeah.
would be an effective way to attract its attention,
Sure.
and then try to move out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon's breath is still the dex save.
All right. Oh yeah, I know it. So that means I do the thing.
Yep.
Okay, so it rolled a 9 on the die, so that's gonna fail.
Okay. So it takes 10 sorry, that needs to be an additional one, so that's 12 points of fire damage.
Okay, it's looking pretty rough.
And he's going to be moving around so that he's trying to attract his attention and move on the opposite side of where
Right.
Zinhorn is.
Mm-hmm. So all right, you have succeeded in attracting its attention. It is
Yeah.
definitely coming after you now.
Whoops.
Yeah, so suddenly it is skittering very fast in your direction. That's a 23 to hit with the bite
Yeah, that hits.
for 10 piercing damage,
Ouch.
and you are grappled. And then the tail misses. That's only an 8 to hit.
Okay.
Okay, Zinhorn. Please.
That would be a good time for crit, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right. I rolled an 8.
Uh-oh.
This is not going well.
No.
Okay. Nedry, your turn.
Yep. I will use my other third level slot for a Misty Step.
Okay.
Sorry, no. I will attack first, and then I'll
Okay.
Misty Step.
So it makes
So
the
Dragon's
dexterity
Breath. Yep.
saving throw. Okay, yeah, it fails again.
Okay. So that's that one and that one for 20 points of fire damage.
You describe for me how you finish it off with this fire breath.
Okay, so squirming and looking over at Zinhorn, quite desperate. You can't hurt my friend like that. It's a really big breath. His entire chest seems to swell up, and then it's let out on it. And after the smoke is kind of settled, the head is no longer there. Just this melted bit of slag on the top. And it's like, ha ha, uh-oh. And the whole thing kind of collapses, and he kind of not gracefully gets to his feet.
And so just as it finishes collapsing, you're watching it just carefully to make sure that it's gone, and then all of a sudden a crate drops from out of nowhere and just crushes where it was left. Like this crate shatters apart. You kind of look up and you see there's a crane, and Jeff's running it, and he gives you a thumbs up.
Nice shot. Oh no, Zinhorn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we are out of combat now, I will allow that you are able to run over and attempt to stabilize.
Yeah, this is not what I'm normally called to do. This is going to be bad.
No.
Medicine roll, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Zinhorn, if you can hear me, I'm going to need your help on this one. And maybe the big rock, too.
2.
Okay. Well, it doesn't make anything worse happen.
What would happen if I just sort of shoved my whole fist into his mouth? Oh, that's not helping.
Okay, so you want to make another death saving throw for me, Zinhorn?
I would like to make one. One would be good.
Mm-hmm.
9.
Okay, so what happens here is that there's a moment, Zinhorn, where you feel like you're sort of receding down some kind of a tunnel, but then there's a warm feeling that you have and you feel the presence of Rashama in your mind saying that you are still needed, but there may be a cost to pay for this at some point in the future. This intervention in fate.
Okay.
And so, Nedry, I think you're there, and it looks for a moment like Zinhorn stops breathing.
I mean, Nedry doesn't know what to do, so he's just sort of pounding on his chest, which Zinhorn won't even notice because he's not that strong.
And he's
No.
wearing armor.
No, Zinhorn, you can't do this. I've got so much more to learn, and you've got more to learn how to fly.
And then all of a sudden, Zinhorn, you find yourself, everyone's seen Pulp Fiction, right? With the shot of adrenaline. Yeah. You awake at 1 hit point, Zinhorn.
Okay.
Oh, you're alive.
And you can see the smoke rolling out because the fire breath is still going.
I thought I lost you. I'm pretty sure I did lose you. Are you okay? It probably hurts a lot.
I'll be
Can't do anything about
okay
that.
in a second. Do I am I still able to do anything?
Yeah, I would. You are awake at 1 hit point. You're fine. You probably don't feel great, but you are up and functional.
Right, but I can do like channel divinity or something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
so,
I mean, you are basically free to do whatever you like at this point.
All
You're
right.
not in combat anymore, but
okay. So yeah, so that gives me 25 hit points to restore. And I'm giving them all to me.
no, you need them. So
Yep.
I think as this is kind of playing out, you're now have a lot of newly very brave dock workers who are absolutely ready to help with the fight, except that they only just got here. Oh, what do you mean? It's all gone already? What a bummer. Like, I mean, I'm glad you guys finished it off. We were on our way to help. I think you gather that they're mostly sincere there, right? Like, there might have been a couple that, like, they just ran faster than their buddies, and then they're like, maybe I'll wait for the buddies to catch up. But Jeff then also proceeds to explain that what he tried to do first was his shift supervisor didn't believe him, so he tried to lead them back to where the things were, but now they weren't there. And then the shift supervisor thought he was making it up to get out of work, and it took him a while to get him to come back over to the other crate. And then by then you guys weren't there either, and so they had to try to track you down. But they, you are thanked profusely for dealing with this obviously very dangerous creature.
There's a crate over there that the creature had its tail in. We need to get that crate opened.
So all of you, like with the dock workers assisting, discover that there are inside that crate, there are 6 small metallic spheres that look, maybe the size of like a couple of inches in diameter that have been like injected into that tiny hole into the crate.
Those seem like some kind of egg to me.
We need to keep one. For study.
I think we need to keep all of them and put them somewhere safe or, break them.
The shift supervisor is looking kind of alarmed, and he's like, how many more of those do you suppose there are around here? And he's kind of glancing around at the rows and rows of crates.
You're going to have to look for holes.
Yeah, look for holes in the crates. We're going to have to go back to the original pile of crates and check those too. But Zinhorn's going to pull out his mace and start smashing.
Oh, you're smashing the eggs?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you smashing all of them or keeping them?
Nedry, do you want to hold on to one? And can you contain it?
I can put it in the bag for the moment, but I'm pretty sure between Sorashana and Sequential.
It eats metal, and we have a guest that is being contained by metal. I don't think we want it in the bag.
Okay. Then we're gonna have to be very careful about it.
All right. Okay. Hold this. Let me know if it does anything. And I will round up the dock workers and try and get them organized to start moving crates around where this nest was, looking for crates that have holes in them, and then take the other half of them back to the original and start pulling that pile apart so we can see, how whether that long row of crates was all affected. And we're specifically looking for those eggs.
Yeah, so I think we can sort of hand wave the remainder of that, but you certainly help them to know what they're looking for, and at the very least, in the back in the original set of crates that you first encountered, you don't find any additional eggs in there,
Okay.
but you do suspect that the three that you originally fought may have hatched in there, and then ate their way out. And so, in making the crates, in fact, themselves somewhat like eggs. But you don't find any additional evidence in those crates, but it becomes clear that they're going to probably have to check everything else on the platform.
That is definitely a them
sure.
problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, and it's one of those things where like the shift supervisor is going to start barking orders about checking every crate, and the other dock workers are looking a little disgruntled until Jeff kind of says, overtime, hazard pay.
I love dock workers.
And then I think we can draw the curtain along that.
Well, one small moment as they're walking back, and Nedry's kind of been holding on to this thing. Probably it's hard for him to hold because it's heavier than he's used to.
You really scared me for a moment, Zinhorn. I mean, you didn't even get a chance to see me really fire off at the thing, and I thought you'd be proud, but you were lying on the ground, and it didn't look good.
Yeah, but she got me back up, so that's all that matters.
I don't know what I did. I don't know that stuff.
I thought you would have just grabbed the potion of healing and poured it down my throat.
You have one?
And I think that's where a curtain would be.
That's an excellent button. Yeah. All right. Yay. We did it.
Yay.
Dragon Bros right again.
Yeah, I only had 5 hit points there. I was wondering if it was going to be a TPK.
Yeah, well, I knew that was a rough encounter I was throwing at just two of you, but you did it, more or less. All right, so I think we will draw our session to a close there. If any of you are watching or listening to this before Memorial Day weekend on in 2021, I think you should check out Balticon, which is a sci-fi convention that is usually in Baltimore, but this year is virtual for obvious reasons. But I think we're going to be around, and some of the rest of our crew are going to be joining into the festivities there. So you should check us out.
And I will be doing a voice in This Kaiju Life, which is Saturday night at the virtual Balticon. It's a story of an IT guy who's got his own company, and they work with doing the IT for the people that contain giant monsters, giant kaiju.
Very nice. You got anything?
And I will be appearing as no one at all because I'm just going to be an attendant.
Aw. Well, that's great too, though. And so thank you everybody for watching, listening, and or watching. We'll be back next week, hopefully with the rest of the main crew, and we will be back then for more adventure on so many levels.
So many levels. Any questions from chat?
Well, we don't have a ton of people in the audience, but we've got Prince Justin right now. You got any questions for us, Paul? Other Paul? Not tonight.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
Yep.
So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.